What's going on, everybody? It's Ad Proficiency here. I'm Eddie, and I'm joined by Hunter tonight.
What's up, y'all?
And we are going to be talking about the revised Ranger. I am really excited about that. It's going to be really fun. Okay, so.
I too am excited. So let's go ahead and just jump on into this.
All right.
You want to bring us in with our class features here, like the very
Sure.
first things?
Yeah, let's. We can. I do like the proficiencies, their skill proficiencies that they have, and just the that they get.
Yeah, I did they get three before, or did they get two before?
I want to say three before.
Did they get three before?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm a fan of what I see here. They do notably get the D10 hit die.
what up, Matt?
Seems
How
like
you
a
doing, buddy?
beefy level. What's up, Matt? Welcome, welcome.
Let's see.
Okay.
So, guess I'll start it off with the first level feat, Favored Enemy. Beginning at first level, you have significant experience studying, tracking, hunting, and even talking to a certain type of enemy commonly encountered in the wilds. Choose a type of favorite enemy: beasts, fey, humanoids, monstrosities, or undead. You gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with the weapon attacks against creatures of the chosen type. Additionally, you have advantage on wisdom survival checks to track your favorite enemies, as well as on intelligence checks to recall information about them. Uh-oh. I think we lost Hunter. Oh no. Wait. Did we recover him?
I'm back. I'm back. Are you back?
We need your video.
Oh,
Yay.
there we go.
Okay, we recovered.
Okay. So, did you finish favorite enemy there?
Yes, I believe I did. Except for that, when you gain this feature, you also learn one language of your choice, typically one spoken by your favorite enemy or creatures associated with it. However, you are free to pick any language you wish to learn.
Okay. How do you feel about the new favorite enemy?
um,
What are your thoughts, like, just like tackling this one?
so
Because there's
let's.
some new stuff in here.
Flat damage bonus is nice. Honestly, I feel like depending on your campaign, picking like humanoids is just solid. Um,
Humanoids is new, as far
Humanoids
as I
is
know.
new. Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, humanoids is new, and that's a big one.
Oh
That's a
God,
big
right?
one. Anyone who's trying to do those, that bounty hunter flavor,
Yeah.
or like honestly, like the assassin flavor, you might want to look at being a ranger instead of being a rogue these days.
I mean, Por qué no los dos? As
Porque no las dos, man. That's what I'm
Buttercup
saying.
does. Buttercup just annihilates things.
So, +2 to damage rolls. Okay, sure,
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
that's nice.
That's nice. That's nice. I'm really curious how powerful this advantage to intelligence checks to recall information about them is. If you're looking at something like humanoids and you're trying to recall information about humanoids, that
That's
seems incredibly broad to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
And keep in mind, investigation checks include intelligence checks. So I'm kind of thinking here, like, if you're taking like a human bounty hunter sort of situation, and you're like, hey, like, I want my guy to be able to like hunt people down like in the underworld,
Yeah,
not like literal under, but like the criminal underworld, you know. To me, this is like, okay, roll investigation to like determine like where Slady Shim's hiding out, you know, or something like that, or to find somebody, you know. And to me, this is that humanoid ranger being like, oh, I know where to look. I know where
yeah,
to look.
right.
Let's
Okay,
let's let's go down to Skinnies, you know, and shake up some random dude.
absolutely.
So I'm a big fan of the new favorite enemy. I think it's extremely potent when combined with the new natural explorer. Do you want to run us through that one, or do you have any final thoughts on favorite enemy?
Honestly, that just the addition of humanoids seems super powerful. Honestly, just broad. So there's a lot of applications for that.
The +2 to damage rolls is like that.
That's
It doesn't
cool.
scale super hard. I think it does get an upgrade maybe later on
Yeah,
with greater favored enemy, but pretty potent at level 1.
Oh yeah.
Very, very potent, especially if you're multi-classing. So take us into Natural Explorer.
So, Natural Explorer, you are a master of navigating the natural world, and you react with swift and decisive action when attacked. Grants you the following benefits: you ignore difficult terrain. Okay. You have advantage on initiative rolls. Awesome. Humanoid is Matt's favorite type of Noid.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You have advantage on initiative rolls. On your first turn during combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that have not yet acted. And then there's a bunch more stuff underneath that.
Pretty much normal, the normal Ranger stuff underneath
Yeah.
that. Lots of flavor with the stuff down there. Difficult terrain doesn't affect the group during long periods of travel. Can't get lost by magical means. Lots of stuff that sort of like allows you to be a ranger
Yeah.
without actively doing anything or having a whole lot of mechanics. I feel like the when you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would is actually really, really potent.
Oh yeah. Especially if someone is very survival oriented and is tracking all your resources like that. Like if you have a stickler DM that's doing that.
So, while tracking other creatures, you also learn their exact number, their sizes, and how long they passed through the area,
Wow.
or how long ago they passed through the area. Do
Uh,
we still? Oh, we still have primeval awareness. Okay, interesting. So
yeah.
this is almost like a little baby version if you're tracking somebody. So how do you feel about the new Natural Explorer? Because the first three things I think they added.
Yeah, and then those are all just really powerful, honestly.
They
Like
are
the
very powerful.
ignore difficult terrain is just okay. No move speed reduction is just great. Um, Advantage on initiative rolls, especially in your games when we are rolling initiative every turn. Getting advantage on that is really nice. And then
Aside from like raw power, how do you feel about these? How do you feel about the role that this fulfills for Natural Explorer here?
honestly, like it feels like it gives you the drop on people again, like another ability that just gives you the drop on people and makes you more assassin. Like it's
Oh, okay, so you're saying like this is like an assassin. You know what? I
yeah,
actually completely agree with that. I think this is like kind of an ambush oriented setup.
yeah,
I have kind of mixed feelings about that. Personally, I have mixed feelings. First off, on your first turn during combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that have not yet acted. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't assassins get this? Like straight up, like isn't that one of their level three like subclass things? Is like
for
you get to
rogue.
do this? For rogue.
Well, no, the assassin at level 3 gets assassinate, which is the advantage is the extra the advantage and the extra crit or whatever. I think if you have advantage, you get the automatic crit.
Yes, you are 100% correct. Except that is not all that assassinate does. I'm trying to find it here. Assassin also gives you a jump on some stuff, and it's really, really juicy. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a very slightly nerfed version of that for
Yeah.
Natural Explorer.
Yeah.
And like in this case, it only works on your first turn during combat, whereas the assassin can like maybe get that jump the second round if they haven't acted or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this. Again, this is kind of goes into uh, again this kind of goes into like overlapping flavor.
Yeah.
They copy pasted this. This flavor comes straight out of the assassin rogue
Yeah.
subclass. Like even the advantage on initiative rolls does exactly that same thing. And while it's very potent and it makes you a very very savvy fighter, I kind of feel like it's kind of a weird flavor for the Natural Explorer to hit.
I agree. I do agree with that. That seems very strange.
Yeah, I would point out that in a recent Unearthed Arcana that dropped some class variants on us,
Yeah.
Natural Explorer has some other options where you can choose a couple extra skills that may be relevant to the flavor
Okay.
of your ranger. You can pick up something that maybe gives you a climb speed, a swimming speed, and like ups your walking speed, so
Nice.
you can get around easier. Or tireless, which actually I think is like a little bit too strong of like a self heal.
Okay.
Natural explorer I like because I want to see something that gives us, makes us good at being a ranger combatively, but I want it to hit its own niche as opposed to making us a really effective fighter
Yeah.
who's kind of multi-classed into rogue. Does that make sense?
I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I feel like we're sneaking up on some other flavor here.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts on it. It is extremely powerful for a one level dip. Getting advantage in all those checks,
Yeah.
advantage to track, extra damage, ignore difficult terrain for the rest of the game. You have advantage on all your initiative rolls for the rest of the game. Which, by the way, the math on advantage ends up, if I'm not mistaken, being about a +5.
Nice.
So this
Okay.
is basically like you get an alert feat for
Yeah.
free.
And I will say, like, also, the first part of that, of the or I guess the first part of the second grouping of abilities, difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel, which again, that's kind of cool. Like your entire group kind of ignores difficult terrain in travel, extended travel sequences.
I actually really like.
Yeah,
That I
absolutely.
want to see the other classes. Bard does this a little bit. I want to see the Artificer do this more, but this chunk right here does it especially,
Yeah.
where you just being in the party offers something that the other players benefit from and engage
Oh
with.
yeah.
So you want to have a ranger in your party because you're like, oh man, we got to do like this big overland travel,
Hmm.
um, I don't really feel like there's a whole lot of reasons that like you want a barbarian in your party to like benefit the other players or something like that, unless that player brings in role play.
Yeah.
Whereas this is baked in.
So
That's good.
Matt has a question for us. Which ranger is best between Ranger, Ambuscade, Revised, Spellless? Which do you feel is best?
Between the revised ranger and
Ranger,
the
the original Ranger, the Ambuscade, I guess, is one. The Revised Ranger, and then the Spellless Ranger.
I don't even know what the ambuscade
Let me
ranger is.
see.
The spellless ranger I actually really like. I have seen the spellless ranger. I would probably play my ranger as a spellless ranger anyways because I just like the flavor of like you're just a fucking commando. Honestly, the ranger class is a commando class. That's how it looks to me on paper, especially if you've got humanoids.
Oh,
Um, as far as spellless goes, it's I actually have less to say about that because I don't like spells. Don't
oh,
like
I
magic. I
see.
like martial classes, dude.
I think it's a it's an unearthed arcana that for is the for ambuscade. It's a yeah, I think you're right, Matt. They probably put it in there, but I think it's a alternate choice or something. Let's see. Oh
What
no,
choice is it?
let's
What are we
see.
options? What are our options that we're looking at?
Basically, first level features. You take ambuscade and natural explorer, I guess, instead of uh, I'm sorry. Why am I blanking? Favorite enemy. And then, yeah, basically, when you roll initiative, you gain a special turn that takes place before other creatures can act. On this turn, you can use your action to take either the attack or hide action. If more than one creature in an encounter has this feature, they all act first in order of initiative. Then the regular initiative order begins. If you would normally be surprised at the start of an encounter, you are not surprised, but you do not gain this extra turn. Interesting.
I might tweak the wording on that a little bit just to be a little more elegant
Yeah.
and just say like, hey, these are abilities you get on your first turn or
Okay.
something like that. But I actually like that a little bit more. I wasn't aware of this ambuscade, I guess is what it's called.
Yeah, I believe
I
it's
actually like
gonna.
that.
I think it's gonna be as Matt said in Tasha's. I can't wait until that comes out so we can dive into Tasha's and kind of take a look at all that stuff.
I can't wait for Tasha's to come out so we can talk about stuff without it becoming obsolete in
Oh,
2 weeks.
geez, right?
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. I do like the idea of Here's my problem with rangers being ambush specialists.
Yeah.
Is it takes away from the rogue assassin being ambush specializing
Okay.
flavor. And it kind of does a better job of it too. Honestly, they get this one potent ability for being an assassin, which is just like you get to blast them with math. And then it's like, okay, cool. And like I do like some of the flavor options of like Poisoner's Kit and yada yada yada, but it's not quite as juicy as you always have initiative bonuses. You always get advantage on that first attack, whether or not they're surprised.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, it's very good. Do you have anything else you want to throw in on this topic? This
Honestly,
particular
I
one?
haven't seen Spellless Ranger, I'll be honest. So I can't really voice an
Oh,
opinion
that's
on
okay.
that.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't even have it pulled up. I was just kind of eyeballing this
Yeah.
here, but I have seen it and it's cool.
Okay.
It's more the flavor of the ranger I would probably play.
Okay.
Even if I get spells as a ranger, I'm probably going to reskin them as like
Yeah.
magic-less variants.
I understand.
So fighting styles. You want to help us out with this one?
Yes, I'm inclined. Let me pull up the wiki dot that has all of the fighting styles that I love. I love this website so much. Okay, so fighting
Keep in
styles.
mind, we only get a few of them though.
A lot of them in this list that I have are Unearthed Arcana, which are really nice. Which that
Okay, and they give them to rangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
At second level, you adopt a particular style of fighting as your specialty. Choose one of the following options. I'll name the options, and then if you want to dive into one of them as we go along, just say something. So, archery, close quarter shooter, defense, dueling, mariner, tunnel fighter, two weapon fighting, druidic warrior, blind fighting, interception, thrown weapon fighting, and unarmed fighting. So, any of those kind of stick out to you as interesting that you want to talk about?
I mean, they're all interesting, but I feel like we could almost jump into a whole discussion about fighting styles
Oh
by
gosh, right?
themselves.
Yeah,
But I do want to say that, especially right next to favorite enemy, especially right next to natural explorer,
yeah.
I'm seeing a fighter, dude. I'm seeing a fighter who's almost arguably, in some cases, better at being a fighter than a fighter is. It's like,
I'll
sure, I
agree.
can action surge, right? And sure, I can heal myself. But if I go ranger, I get my juicy fighting style. I'm faster than everyone, pretty
Yeah.
much all the time.
Oh yeah.
Good at tracking people down. I got extra damage against humanoids, which I'm probably going to be dealing constantly. I have more flavor because the ranger's packed with flavor, like
Oh
as
yeah.
far as like interacting with the world, getting those advantages on that stuff. So to get a fighting style on top of this, while I like the idea of the ranger as being like kind of this wilderness fighter, I want to see less copy paste, man. I want to see more unique, like only the ranger gets this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um.
What about you? What are your thoughts on this?
I I kind of like the druidic warrior fighting style because you get two druid cantrips as part of the ranger spell list, which you don't really get cantrips as a ranger, I believe. So like having a couple cantrips is kind of cool.
That magical druid, yeah, you have the option to do so.
To if you wanted to actually be invest a little more heavily into your spell casting as a ranger, that's kind of neat.
Okay, okay, okay.
Uh, but yeah, like honestly, I feel like the fighting style really allows you to personalize your character and really make
You
make it
know,
make it what you want it to be.
on that note, actually, because that's a good point. Actually, I think maybe what I would like to see from ranger fighting styles is that they still get fighting styles, but they're different
Yeah,
from fighter and paladin fighting styles.
I
Because
understand.
like anybody can get two weapon fighting, anyone can get archery, but if only your rangers are picking up like your druidic cantrips or something like that, then you're able to hit particular flavors,
Yeah.
and I like that. It
Matt
also de-incentivizes dips. Sorry,
Matt
go on.
asked the question: two weapon ranger or bow?
Dude, two weapon ranger.
It really
Two weapon
depends.
ranger is one of the most min-maxable things in the game.
Absolutely.
I think a two weapon ranger does more damage than a barbarian,
Uh,
and it's not hard to do that.
Bow Ranger is nice as well, especially with that Hunter's Mark that you get with your spellcasting. So combining Hunter's Mark with the bow and like your favorite enemy is just a ton of damage that you can do.
It's a ton of damage. It's a safe play style. I have
Yeah.
never played a ranged ranger because I feel like it would be so good it wouldn't be fun for me.
You can
I would just
start
I'm gonna nuke things and stay safe forever.
doing
And it's
like
like,
Robin Hood Men in Tights style archery tricks just for funsies. I'm gonna bank it 16 times and hit this guy in the forehead.
no, honestly, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get to subclasses today, but
Yeah.
a two weapon ranger, especially a hunter, looks more to me like a frenzy barbarian than the frenzy barbarian class actually does.
I
Because this two access to two weapon fighting just
yeah.
it's powerful,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Um, any thoughts on that? Any more thoughts on fighting styles or?
Nah, let's go ahead and move on a little bit.
Okay,
Um,
let's look at spell casting. How are we looking with this here?
so I mean, this is one of the half casters
Yeah.
that gets the the 4 or 5 spell levels.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I like the half casters because you get a little more utility in your spells as opposed to straight nukes or like invocations, that kind of thing. So, I, like I'd really do these ranger spells all have a lot of flavor for what a ranger should be and what they can do.
I think Zephyr Strike is so good that I don't think I would pick something else over Zephyr Strike because it
Yeah.
gives you move speed, it gives you, I think, a bonus action attack, and it gives you advantage. Is that right?
Let's see.
So if you're a rogue and you just use Zephyr Strike, if you
Yeah.
multiclass or something like that, that's just a flat sneak
Give
attack
yourself
blast.
advantage on one weapon attack roll. Deals an extra 1d8 force damage, and then you can still roll. Yeah, move 30 feet, and your movement doesn't provoke it to opportunity attacks,
Mhm.
which that's fun.
Again, or I say again, but this scales off of wisdom. And the thing about spells being wisdom for the rangers is while it makes sense to me, it's also kind of encouraging you. For me, I guess rangers with that D10 especially,
Yeah.
I'm tempted to take Constitution. So like my attack stat and Constitution,
Hmm.
which generally means by the time I get around to wisdom, it's an afterthought unless I'm like going hardcore into something or another.
But I feel like you also like to play that up close ranger. If you're playing that ranged ranger that kind of supports as well, then you probably go dex and then wisdom as
I
opposed.
agree. I agree. I want to see the one-handed hand crossbow crossbow expert ranger that
Yeah.
just gun is basically just a gunslinger.
Oh yeah.
Never played with one of those, but I feel like there's a lot of like interesting tactical combat that can come from that.
Renegade's better. Gunslinger renegade. That renegade class is just so fun.
It's powerful. I really want to get into primeval awareness because
Okay,
this
yeah,
is
let's go.
I feel like it's underutilized and it's really interesting. You want to
Let's
work us
go.
through this one?
All right. Beginning at 3rd level, your mastery of Ranger lore allows you to establish a powerful link to beasts and to the land around you. You have an innate ability to communicate with beasts, and they recognize you as a kindred spirit. Through sounds and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas to a beast as an action, and can read its basic mood and intent. You learn its emotional state, whether it is affected by magic of any sort, its short term needs, such as food or safety, and actions you can take, if any, to persuade it to not attack. You cannot use this ability into creatures that you have attacked within the past 10 minutes. Okay, that makes sense. Uh,
Your ability right there.
yeah,
You can like interact with animals for free.
yeah. And then, additionally, you can attune your senses to determine if any of your favorite enemies lurk nearby. Hmm. By spending 1 uninterrupted minute in concentration as if you are concentrating on a spell, you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles of you.
5 miles, bro.
That's a
And what can we
lot.
learn? What can we learn about enemies within 5 miles there, Eddie?
Reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance in miles from you. If there are multiple groups of your favorite enemies within range, you learn this information for each group.
Wow. Wow.
Just
Okay.
just kind of
First,
like bomb a city. Like I'm gonna like scan this city real fast and see where everyone around me is.
so for me, this ability makes sense if you're like a hunter, right? If you're looking for a beast or something.
Absolutely.
When you start looking at humanoids and this ability,
Yeah.
you learn if they're present, their numbers, and their general direction. How do you know how many? I guess the flavors that you're tracking, right? But it's just like what I see for primeval awareness, right? Is I
Mm-hmm.
actually kind of want to see like a nerfed version of this for because when I envision how this ability works, primeval awareness, as opposed to like making a survival check to track, I'm thinking of like that Last of Us or like
Yeah.
Batman thing where you're kind of like crouched near the wall and you can kind of like hear on the other side
Oh
like where
yeah.
the enemies are. You get that kind of
Your
X-ray vision, you
your
know?
detective vision or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever,
detective vision.
or
And,
your
and so
Assassin's
like
Creed Eagle Vision, whatever you want to call it.
yeah, yeah. I want the ranger, right, to be like up there with the rogue
Yeah.
cuz that's kind of how they play, right? And I want the ranger to like be listening and then be like turn to the rogue and be like, "Okay, like there's 4 of them on the other side of this wall and there's 2 more in the hallway beyond that." Right?
Yeah.
But I also feel like that's like super powerful if you start giving that amount of specificity within 5 miles.
Oh geez, right?
Yeah, that's a whopping thing. I want to see this utilized more. I don't ever see people use primeval awareness, and I think it's because
Yeah.
they don't really think about the flavor, or they're afraid their DM's just going to be like, well, like that's too strong, and you don't get to do that, or something like that.
I mean, I I would allow some pretty silly things with that if someone were to use it, really. Just because of like, especially if they were human, if their favorite enemy was humanoids, like there's some fun
This is pretty
things.
juicy.
Oh
This is
yeah,
pretty juicy,
oh
and
yeah,
and the fact that it's just like slapped onto the back of this, like, oh, you get like very limited beast interaction.
yeah,
The beast interaction by itself is actually pretty potent, learning its emotional state, whether it's affected by magic, its short-term needs, and the actions to persuade it not to attack. Like you just know if you can interact with it or not. For a third level, you're getting this in addition to all of your subclass abilities,
oh yeah,
right? So you're getting a huge amount of shit at third level, right?
yeah.
So,
Do you want to go?
oof.
I kind of want to talk about the Ranger Conclaves, not at like just the names of each one. Just kind of go over the list real fast. Is that okay?
Yeah, you just want to zoom through them. We'll give just a
Yeah.
couple thoughts about like each one in general. As a quick.
Have you seen the newest one that came out? The dragon flavored one,
I have not.
the
No,
Drake
I
Warden.
haven't.
Okay, so there's the Beastmaster. That one's in the PHP. Drake Warden is the newest Unearthed Arcana, and it's kind of interesting. Dragon centric. Fey Wanderer. That one's also a more recent Xanathars. Or I'm sorry, that one's a more recent Unearthed Arcana. Then there's the Gloom Stalker and Horizon Walker, both from Xanathars, and Monster Slayer as well.
Okay.
We have
All right. Sorry, on.
there's three more. Sorry,
Oh,
there's
okay.
the Hunter, the Primeval Guardian, and the Swarm Keeper as well.
Okay. Okay. The ones that are unearthed arcana may
Yeah,
be about to come out, so anything we say on those might become obsolete in
that's
like a couple
true.
weeks, which is kind of why I was like, oh, let's. But if you want, we can just spit out a couple thoughts on each one and like how we feel about them.
Matt says Gloomstalker is OP end all be all ranger, which that seems fair.
I, I'm kind of tempted to agree, man. I don't like
um,
Gloom Stalker because of that. I feel like it's way too strong. Way, way, way too strong.
yeah.
Um, Yeah. In fact, oh, see, this is the thing. We could like dive into each of these and like
Yeah.
really fucking debate these. So it's like,
Just um
what
that
are your
gl-
general thoughts?
It is Gloom Stalker is very powerful. Just as a kind of, I just want to point this out as a pairing to this. The new Unearthed Arcana, the Drake Warden gets a Drake companion at 3rd level, and then can speak and write Draconic, and then gets Thaumaturgy cantrip too. It's so fun.
Yeah, that seems to make sense.
You get a walking breath weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that sounds pretty normal.
yeah,
That sounds like what you would get as like a dragon-oriented ranger, right?
yeah. It's fun. Yeah, I like it.
Let's. So, give me a couple thoughts about each of the player's handbook ones.
Beastmaster, straightforward. Just this is your hunter with his pet going out and doing his thing. As far as hunter goes, that one's your by yourself tracking things with your own senses. I feel like the Beastmaster is bonding with nature, whereas hunter is exerting dominion over nature.
Okay, okay. Beastmaster, from as far as I've heard, if you're gonna play a Beastmaster, you do not want to play a player's handbook Beastmaster,
Okay.
because apparently it just like was kind of underpowered, or just like it just wasn't
Yeah.
enough compared to the other classes, is what I heard, which was a big part of this. One of the things that I have heard people running into with Beastmasters, and that I've kind of experienced myself, is bringing your beast everywhere that you go. That
Yeah.
can be kind of tricky.
Yeah.
And I think in Critical Role, they ended up just making a magic item Pokeball, which essentially like does the same thing.
Yeah.
As far as hunters go, Hunter is unironically my favorite Ranger class because I feel that it lends itself to I feel like it gives the most diversity to the player. Like I want to
Okay.
be a ranged kind of player, or I want to be like a group slaughtering one, and
Yeah.
it feels like it almost feels like a fighter subclass, man. Like I again like the hunter with horde breaker. Horde
Yeah.
breaker, if you look at it, looks to me like a barbarian's cleave ability.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Like that I would just give a barbarian so that they can
yeah.
hit the next guy over.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
A
Fighter.
two
Sorry, cleave used to be a feat, and anyone could take it. Fighters, barbarians, rangers.
two weapon fighter hunter, I think has extreme potential for being like one of the highest damage dealers in the game as far as sustained damage
Yeah.
instead of like big whops and then you're like exhausted, like a
Yeah.
paladin that drops all of its spells
Smites
into a
and spells
smite.
and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
right. As far as the Gloom Stalker goes, I think the Gloom Stalker both makes me say, why would I play a Rogue Assassin
Yeah.
on top of the Ranger Revised? If I'm getting a Ranger Revised Ranger and I'm a Gloom Stalker, why is the Rogue Assassin is not the best assassin anymore?
Yeah.
It's just not.
I,
It's because Rangers get sneak attack now, and
oh
on top
yeah.
of that, they get extra damage. Like, uh, I don't know.
I
I
understand where you're
I do
coming
not
from.
like the Gloomstalker because it's good, because
Yeah.
it's too good, and I think I wouldn't want to play anything else. The Horizon Walker needs a rework. It's way too weak. If I'm gonna give the Horizon Walker anything, which I think we should cover this at some point,
Yeah.
my custom Horizon Walker lets them do forced movement that
Okay.
provokes attacks of opportunity, which lets you play more tactically.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I feel like it's very niche. It's very underpowered. I don't know why people would play a Horizon Walker when you could play a Gloomstalker or you could
Yeah.
play a Hunter, quite frankly. Um, those are just the ones off the top of my head. Any other thoughts?
Um. No. We've talked a little bit about everything. I will agree that Gloomstalker is arguably the most powerful out of all of them.
Powerful.
Do you want to? I mean, do you want to move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to finish the class.
All right. So, ability score improvement at 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th. Yay!
Yes.
But that one, a lot of people get. Everyone gets that, right? Yeah.
Pretty normal. Pretty normal. Don't
Yeah.
get any abilities. Get all feats.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't even fuck with that.
Because
Honestly.
you still most feats still have a ability score increase ASI in there for you. So
A lot of them do. Most of them you'll get more utility out of a feat
Exactly.
just in general, and like there's so many ways to up your stats beyond just using abilities. So just
Yeah.
get yourself a magic item, something
Right.
like that.
All right. So level 6, greater favorite enemy. At 6th level, you are ready to hunt even deadlier game. Ooh. Uh, Choose a type of greater favorite enemy: aberrations, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals, fiends, or giants. You gain all the benefits against this chosen enemy that you normally gain against your favorite enemy, including an additional language. Your bonus to damage rolls against all your favorite enemies increases to +4. Additionally, you have advantage on saving throws against the spells and abilities used by a greater favorite enemy. Ooh.
That's some strong shit.
Yes,
This is level 6, dude.
that
Plus
is.
4 damage to all humanoids at level 6.
And then whatever else your campaign seems to be heavy on. Let's say you're running into a lot of fiends. Boom! Suddenly you have advantage on all their against all their spells and abilities. Done.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's super super strong.
That really
Fiends,
is.
elementals, aberrations. The plus 4 damage is a whop. It's
Yeah,
a whop, dude.
yeah,
You're especially because you're getting it like you're getting all that damage right after your Ranger Conclave,
yeah. Exactly.
and your Primeval Awareness and your Initiative. Uh,
And then what?
Again, like this is like one of the most like min-maxy classes for I
And
think
then at
this
5th
region.
level, you get a Ranger Conclave feature as well. Like right before this, so you have two Conclave features right already.
Yeah, so you're a martial god at
Yeah.
this point. And that's kind of why. Are you ready to go to the next one? Actually,
We
do you have
can.
any further thoughts on this?
I mean, if you want to finish that thought, by all means.
Well, I was gonna say that's why I feel like our 8th level ability, Fleet of Foot, where you get dash as a bonus action, is late. It's
Underwhelming.
weird.
It's kind
It's
of
weird.
underwhelming.
You are like a god up
Yeah.
until level 6, and then you get a like not even as good as a rogue's second
Well, then
level thing at level 8.
at like level 7, don't you get another class feature, another Conclave feature?
Yes. Wow, yeah. Okay. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just like, okay, look, we're blasting you guys with
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, pretty
Raw
much.
power.
Nine and like
Like
there's
just
only
chill for a second.
there's
Okay.
literally 2 levels, 3 levels in this whole progression on Ranger that get nothing. Like, and or I say get nothing. They don't get a class feature. They get like that levels where they get another spell, like another level of spells.
Yeah.
So, ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, dude. And
So
then go on.
Ranger really does get something every level and get something more powerful every level.
It's strong, dude.
Yeah.
It's strong.
All
It
right.
is.
Let's. You want to move on to the next part? Hide in plain
Yeah,
sight.
yeah. Yeah, I wanna pop off once we knock this one out here.
Okay, so starting at 10th level, you can remain perfectly still for long periods of time to set up ambushes. When you attempt to hide on your turn, you can opt to not move on that turn. If you avoid moving, creatures that attempt to detect you take a -10 penalty to their wisdom perception checks till the start of your next turn. You lose this benefit if you move or fall prone, either voluntarily or because of some external effect. You are still automatically detected if any effect or action caused you to no longer be hidden. If you are still hidden on your next turn, you can continue to remain motionless and gain this benefit until you are detected. Just giving other people -10.
Oh
Dope.
boy. Okay, so not only can you just like buff the shit out of your own stealth ability,
Yeah.
but you can nuke, absolutely nuke. Because keep in mind, Rangers get pass without trace, right?
Yeah.
You use a spell to give yourself +10 to stealth, and
Uh
then you use hide in plain sight to give them -10 to any perception checks to notice you're
huh.
amplified. So I want you to look at this, right?
Yeah.
Look at our package right now, and tell me that this isn't
Just
insanely powerful. Look at everything we're getting, our mechanics, all the flavor, all the like raw combat power.
it's just you're a better
And
rogue than a rogue almost.
you're a better rogue than a rogue. You're a better fighter, I think, than a fighter in most cases, because you're
Yeah.
still getting extra attack at 5th level.
Yeah.
Uh, I think they took it out of the main Ranger class and the Ranger Revised, but they give extra attack to that 5th level class
I think the
subclass
subclasses,
thing.
yeah.
They give it to the subclasses, and I think part of that is balancing your beast companion.
Yeah.
But I want you to look at all of these mechanics, all of this flavor, everything they've given us up until 10th level, and then I want you to look at bards, and I want you to look at that string and monk
Yeah.
between like 7 and like fucking like 16 or something way up there, where they get like nothing. No,
Yeah.
it's passives, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't do anything. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly because I got allergies right now, and
Same, dude.
ATX
Same.
ATX be killing me, bro.
We're literally
But
a block from each other, bro.
yeah, yeah. Um,
We're
so yeah,
basically, yeah. No,
I
go ahead.
want to point out like the huge stretch and the difference in like game design when you're looking at like what they're cranking out and what they're giving us,
Yeah,
as opposed to what we started with.
absolutely.
I feel like this class makes me want to play a ranger because it's fun and it's packed with flavor, and I feel like a lot of the other classes give us a mechanic, but they don't give us as much flavor
And
as the
honestly,
ranger
it's
managers
just
do.
powerful. It's also it hits the three main things about any character you want. It's fun, flavorful, and powerful. Like, honestly, why wouldn't you just want to play a ranger?
You're good at combat, you're good at exploration. I would you
I
could be.
mean,
I guess maybe you're not as good at social skills, but like damn, like
screw it. Just talk
I
to
feel like
animals.
players
Screw
can
it.
compensate for that. Yeah,
Just talk to animals. Forget everyone else.
yeah. No, the Rangers are pretty ridiculous. And then the next ability that we get at 14th level is another one of these. Like, yeah, you get
Yeah.
another chunk of the Rogue's level 2 ability,
Yeah.
where now you can
Vanish.
hide as a bonus action, and you can't
Yeah.
be tracked, which is cool. Um, Oh wait, actually, it's just by non-magical means, so you can still absolutely be tracked.
And then you
At
could,
14th level, you can
yeah.
still be tracked by magical means.
I know, right?
Who the hell is sniffing the ground at 14th level, bro? Those are my fucking hags that are like, oh, I know where you are.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
at 14th level. We're divining. We're not fucking looking at
yeah.
twigs anymore.
I know,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know why this is underpowered. I don't know about that one.
Absolutely.
Especially
Um.
after we get the ability to drop perception
Oh
by
yeah.
10.
Yeah. Just like natural perception rolls are just fucked against this character for no reason.
Yeah,
Okay. Next.
last two.
Feral senses. At 18th level, you gain preternatural senses that help you fight creatures you can't see. Whenever you attack a creature you can't see, your inability to see it doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls against it. You're also aware of the location of any invisible creature within 30 feet of you, provided that the creature isn't hidden from you and you aren't blinded or deafened. That's
Okay. Okay.
blind fighting with it's just blind fighting, I guess, and tremor sense a little bit. Except you're basically a predator, like at the same time you're like that's the flavor I'm getting is just oh yeah, it's the fucking predator.
This ability. You also are just aware of the location of any invisible.
Yeah.
But what about
Doesn't
your
intangible.
inability to see? So things can still hide from you, but
Yeah.
it doesn't impose disadvantage against your attack rolls. But it doesn't help you find them, right? But you're aware of the location of invisible
You
creatures.
can fight them
How does that
still.
work? How
So
does that work? How do you fight something if you don't know where it is?
it's
Like if it's like
you can't
I,
see it, but you can like smell it and hear it or whatever. So you can tell where it is. I guess with the feral senses. Think about Wolverine. Wolverine fights invisible shit all the time, and he fights with scent and hearing.
I get the flavor of it. What I'm
Yeah.
pointing to is the logistical conflict between like actually not knowing where someone physically is and the fact that you don't get disadvantage on it. So
Well,
it's like so it's
it's
like you don't know where it is, but if you try and attack in that general direction, like I guess you have a good chance to hit something.
well. Well, so basically, what this is getting at is that you don't need to rely on your vision to fight shit. Is really the whole big thing behind this is that if it's dark, you can fight something with
Yeah.
sight with scent and hearing alone,
Yeah.
which
I
is.
I get that.
Or let's say you're blinded for some silly reason. You have some kind of device on your head that doesn't let you see. I don't know.
Okay. That's fair.
Bruce's 6 pairs of sunglasses block out so much light you can't see.
I do want to point out something,
Yeah,
right? Sometimes when they give us these abilities, they are giving us powerful abilities, but the fun level of those abilities. So when you look at feral senses, right? What
yeah,
I'm seeing is that you don't get anything. It doesn't give you anything. You can just do what you already do, and you're just not bad at it. Does that make sense? This is like
I
what
mean,
bugs me about the monk only getting like the ability to like hit stuff with their key fueled strikes, I think is the
yeah,
ability. So it's like at 18th level, right? First off, you're at the end of the game, bro.
yeah.
So like the fact that like I can I can do regular attacks and not suck is nice, but that doesn't feel doesn't feel
Yeah.
weighty like an in-game reward, you know? I kind of feel like this Feral Senses is an interesting name for it. I see how they're giving it to Rangers. That wording reminds me a little bit more of Druids. But I would like to see in-game abilities not be qualifiers. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Or or if they're gonna give us qualifiers, like this is fine. Give us a flavor to go with that. I mean, maybe feral senses you can be like, oh, like you can't sneak up on me, which is basically just the
Yeah.
alert feat. But but it's like, let me see, what's a good
To me,
example?
this is that bloodhound thing from Apex where you can scan an area and oh yeah, I know where this person is because of their
It's a qualifier.
yeah.
You can do the thing you're good at. You can hit stuff and you don't suck at it. And I
Also,
do kind of feel like the next ability kind of is like
I
supposed to be a
I
real capstone.
I want to give to something a little bit about feral senses. When you attack a creature you can't see, your inability to see it doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls against it, aka partial slash full cover doesn't matter. You can still attack a creature in partial slash full color and not a cover and not get disadvantage with a ranged attack.
Physical cover is physical cover negated? Because the reason that physical cover gives you AC benefits isn't because you can't see them. It's because it makes your target like actually smaller. Instead of hitting all of this, you're just hitting like the quarter of my face,
Yeah,
And so it's
that's
not
what
that
I'm.
you're actually worse
That's
with
why I'm
cover. It's
saying
just
right here is that since it says you when you attack a creature you can't see, it's a specific thing. So if full cover is like you can't see the creature, I feel like this also gives you like arrow curving type shit, like your wanted type shit.
attack a creature you can't see. Your inability to see doesn't impose disadvantage. I don't know that this would affect cover because I don't think the idea of cover is necessarily that it's harder to see. I think it's just that like it's harder to hit. So like again, this doesn't even let us ignore cover. That would be cool.
I
That
mean,
would be
I
cool.
I
Like
feel like
that
that's
would
a
be a
loose
weighty end game kind of reward.
I feel like that's a loose interpretation and something we might have to ask, like, question the game designers with is, hey, feral senses, does that allow you to kind of ignore cover?
Look at the wording of sharpshooter to to address that there.
Okay.
Do you want to move us into Foe Slayer, our last one here?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. At 20th level, you become an unparalleled hunter of your enemies. Once on each of your turns, you can add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll or the damage roll of an attack you make against one of your favorite enemies. You can choose to use this feature before or after the roll, but before any effects of the roll are applied.
Ooh, that's our in game.
Yeah,
That's our
so
level 20 ability. Is I get to add a +3 to one of my attacks.
probably by this
What?
point it's a +5. Probably by this point it's a +5. Let's be real. If
Well, keep in mind this
if
is
not higher,
wisdom.
yeah,
This is so our. I mean, if you're going wisdom and attack stat, fine. Then if you're like not a tanky ranger, then
yeah,
then that's fine. If you're a tanky ranger, like or a frontline fighter, I see a lot of those guys taking either like strength and dex with
yeah.
con. So this is like, oh yeah, you get your congratulations, you've hit demigod level. You can now add +3 to one of your attacks
And
to attack
honestly,
20th level enemies, bro.
I would
20th
also
level enemies.
that you can also boost that beyond. Like you can get your natural to +20, cool, or 20. So you have a +5, but then you have magic items that can't you boost it beyond 20 to like get you like a +6 or a +7 to those rolls.
So I need a magic item to make this not suck.
I mean, I
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
give this. I'm gonna give Foe Slayer 2 thumbs down. This is a horrible ability which does not scale unless you have a wisdom modifier, in which case then I would agree with you.
yeah.
But
Honestly,
at 20th level, bro, doing you get to add your Wiz mod
that's literally like
to one
five
attack.
ASIs like later, 5 ASIs into the game.
But ASIs also make you choose between feats. So it's like,
Yeah.
yes, so if you're saying like, oh, but you can do a particular build in which this
You can get
could
well.
be
You can take
could be
feats
better.
which will give you ASIs, including
All
to
right,
wisdom.
let me ask you this.
Yes.
Say you have +6, right? It's a
Okay.
big, sexy, juicy number, right?
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
like 22 whiz, right?
Okay.
You're fighting 20th level enemies.
Yeah.
First off, you have to hit those enemies, or this ability doesn't even do anything.
Yeah. It does. You can make it so that you can use that ability to also enhance your hits and make it so that you can hit something.
Oh, great. Okay, you're right. It's wisdom modifier to the attack roll or the damage.
Yes.
So you get to choose between like, do I want to do the thing I already do and like, oh sweet, like I got to hit, you know?
Yeah.
Or do I want to like do an amount of damage that's like questionably scales? Like, and keep in mind, the
Yeah.
only time you're gonna do like like +6, +7 is if you're somehow above 20. Otherwise, this is a +5, and at 20th level, when your enemies have like hundreds of health,
Yeah.
and you get to do a +5 if you hit extra damage, or you get to do one beefed up hit.
I mean, it either ensures you get your hit every turn because it's once a turn. It's not like once a day. It's once every turn. So if you feel like if you know what your attack would hit or not, I'm not saying it's great because it's obviously
Okay.
not. But what I'm saying is it is useful.
Okay, okay. Look at Quivering Palm.
Oh, I
Right.
know, I know.
And then look at like the ability to choose between a feat, which a variant human, charger
Yeah,
gives you +5 damage. A fucking savage attacker, you take that at 1, you get advantage on your like weapon damage, right?
yeah,
Um, yeah, Feral Senses and Foe Slayer together look like early level abilities to me, like
yeah. I get where you're coming from.
10ish maybe 10 through 14ish, and then like maybe some of these like early level abilities which are super juiced. Uh, I don't know, man. I would maybe tweak the arrangement of these or beef these up because Foe Slayer to me is extremely unimpressive.
I get where you're coming from.
Those are my feelings on it.
Yeah.
Wow, we bumped right up to our time, brother.
Right.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. If
Yeah.
y'all stuck around for this, that was
Thank you,
super cool,
Matt,
y'all.
for all the questions and
Hey,
shout out to D8HP. A big shout out indeed.
thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a great night. Tune in just a little while once Kaylee passes out, my daughter, and we will be playing Norstead Point, which I am very excited about.
Yes, join us next time at around 9 o'clock ish when we do next week's AP talk.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Waving and waving and waving.